If you enjoy stories about compassion, karma, and the wisdom of Buddhist teachings, then kindly subscribe to this channel. I create many videos just like this. Thank you, from the heart. Now let me ask you, have you ever thought that being kind means being weak? That gentle people are easy to break? That in this world, where loudness wins, where anger is louder than peace, being soft is a disadvantage? But what if I told you that the gentlest people are sometimes the strongest? What if strength was not measured by fists, but by forgiveness? What if the one who chooses to stay kind, even when the world turns cruel, is the one who holds the real power? Let me share with you a story, so beautiful, so heartbreaking, that it might just change the way you see kindness, forever. Stay with me, let your heart be open. Because what happens next might stay with you for the rest of your life. Her name was Eleanor. An elderly woman, fragile in frame, but firm in spirit. She lived alone in a small alley tucked away behind the train station of a quiet town. Every morning, for nearly 20 years, Eleanor would wake at 4 a.m. She would carry a pot of hot porridge, warm, fragrant, and walk slowly to the edge of Main Street. There, under an old sycamore tree, she placed her wooden stool and began serving bowls of porridge to anyone who came. The price? Half of what other food stalls charged. Some people laughed at her. Some said she was strange. Some even told her she was ruining the market. But Eleanor just smiled. She always said the same thing. The hungry don't need more pain. They need warmth. One winter morning, the wind howled like wolves. Frost clung to every leaf, and Eleanor's fingers trembled as she stirred the pot. Suddenly, a man came running down the street. Disheveled, dirty, his clothes torn, his eyes wild. His name was Daniel. He was homeless. He was starving. And he was angry, not at Eleanor, but at life. He grabbed the pot. He kicked her basket of spoons. He shouted, "Why do you pretend to care? If you cared, you'd give it for free." The people around gasped. Some stepped forward, fists clenched. Others yelled at him to leave. One young man reached for a stick. But Eleanor sat down beside Daniel, on the cold pavement. She didn't speak right away. Then gently, she poured him a bowl of porridge, the last one in the pot, and placed it into his trembling hands. She said softly, "You are not a bad man. You're just hungry. Please, eat, then rest." Daniel stared at her, eyes wide, mouth trembling. He said nothing, just ate. The crowd fell silent. No one knew what to say. Daniel vanished after that day. Years passed. Seasons changed. People came and went. But Eleanor stayed, always with her porridge and her quiet kindness. Then, on the eve of the town's lantern festival, a man in a formal coat appeared beside her stall. He was tall, well-kept. Kindness glowed in his eyes. He knelt beside Eleanor, took her hand, and said, "Do you remember me?" It was Daniel. He had changed, completely. Now, He worked as a counselor, helping men and women escape the streets. He had spent 5 years dedicating his life to people like himself. Because of one moment, one bowl of porridge. He said, "You didn't feed my stomach that day. You fed my soul. You showed me that even when I was at my ugliest, someone still believed I was worthy of warmth." Tears rolled down Eleanor's cheeks. But she said only this, "I knew you were good. I just waited for you to remember." People around began to cry. Some whispered prayers. Some bowed their heads. Everyone had judged Eleanor as fragile. But in truth, she was unbreakable. Because the gentlest hearts, the ones who refuse to stop loving, even when the world hurts them, they carry the greatest strength of all. The Buddha once said, "Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is an eternal law." In that simple act, when Eleanor gave her last bowl of porridge to a man who kicked her pot, she didn't just feed his stomach. She lived the Dharma. She embodied what the Buddha called metta, loving kindness. A love that is not conditional. A love that doesn't ask, "Do you deserve this?" but rather says, "You are hurting, and that is enough." Let's pause here. Ask yourself, when someone wrongs you, what rises first? Anger? Judgment? The need to punish? Or compassion? In the Dhammapada, the Buddha teaches, as rain falls equally on the just and unjust, so does compassion belong to all. Daniel was not evil. He was wounded. He was not cruel. He was cold, hungry, and unseen. But Eleanor saw what no one else did. Not his behavior, but his pain. This is what it means to have a gentle heart. It is not soft. It is wise. It sees through anger, to the suffering beneath. The world will tell you, "Be tough. Don't let people take advantage of you. Kindness makes you weak." But the Dharma whispers something else. When you respond with love, you change the karma of the moment. Let's look deeper. Had Eleanor reacted with fear or anger, she would have only confirmed Daniel's belief that the world is cruel, that kindness is fake. But because she stayed calm, because she did not strike back, she shattered the illusion. This is what it means to conquer not the world, but yourself. The true strength is not in power over others, but in power over your own mind, your reactions, your thoughts. This is the teaching of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, seeing clearly. Right intention, responding with love. Right speech, no harm, no blame. Right action, rooted in compassion. When you live like this, your karma transforms, your future changes. Even science now says that kindness rewires the brain. But Buddhism knew this 2.500 years ago. So what about you? Are you holding onto something? An old wound? A grudge that still burns? Who is really suffering when you carry hate? You? Or the one you hate? The Buddha said, holding onto anger is like grasping a hot coal, with the intent of throwing it at someone else. But you are the one who gets burned. So breathe. Let go. And choose again. You don't have to wait until someone deserves your kindness. Give it freely. Give it anyway. Give it because it liberates you. Just like Eleanor, you can change someone's entire destiny with one quiet act of love. And perhaps save your own. So now, dear listener, after all this, let me ask you something. And I ask, not just your mind, but your heart. Have you ever been like Daniel? Angry? Ashamed? Hurt so deeply that you pushed away the very people trying to help you? Or, have you ever been like Eleanor? Soft on the outside, strong on the inside, choosing kindness when it would have been easier to walk away. Here's the truth, we've all been both. Some days, we're the ones needing grace. Other days, we're the ones being asked to give it. But in every moment, we have a choice. To react, or to respond. To judge, or to understand. To blame, or to bless. So let me ask you now, from soul to soul, what do you want to carry into your tomorrow? Anger? Pride? A bruised ego that whispers, "They don't deserve my kindness." Or, the kind of peace that only comes when you let go and love anyway? Leave a comment right now. Tell me, what is one thing you're still holding on to that you know you need to release? And here's something even deeper. A question that will divide this community right here. Do you believe kindness should always be given, even when someone is clearly wrong? Some will say yes. Some will say no. Some will say, you have to protect your heart. Others will say, you protect your heart by opening it. Which side are you on? Let the world know in the comments. Because this is not just a video. This is a space of awakening, of reflection, of healing. If this story touched you, if you cried, if you remembered someone from your past, someone you've not yet forgiven, then don't scroll away. Do something brave. Right finger call someone you've been distant from. Right finger write a message you never thought you'd send. Right finger or simply whisper a prayer. That your heart stays gentle, no matter how many storms come. And if you still feel pain inside, if the world has hardened you, if you've stopped believing in goodness, then please, share this story. Because someone, somewhere, needs it, right now. They need to know that even when life is cruel, there are still people like Eleanor. There are still people like you. Yes, you, with your silent tears. You, who've been kind, and got nothing in return. You, who still choose to smile, even when your heart is tired. You are not weak. You are not foolish. You are the strength this world forgets it needs. So I invite you now to do 3 things. Keycap 1 comment. I choose gentleness if you still believe in kindness. Keycap 2 share this video with someone who needs healing. Keycap 3 subscribe and join a community of souls who want to walk in light, even when the world feels dark. And before we end, let's sit together in silence for just a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let go of the weight. And remember, a gentle heart is not a heart that gets stepped on. It is a heart that chooses to love, even when it hurts, and that is the strongest heart of all.